Hello, hello. Welcome back to Tyler Talks with a new logo for some weird reason. I did a bunch of videos this week, and there was a ton of distractions during the video. Um, like every time I tried to do it, I've done this video once. I think this is my second time, and I did the blue orange twice. I really want to put blue orange out there, especially after seeing Jaden playing blue orange. I was talking to Jeremy. He likes some blue orange, and then I hinted at blue orange last time and what it can do. It can get a lot of blocks. It works very well with blue. It really takes away the opponent's control, protection, to where I can start controlling um, hand elements, territory, board, however I need to control the board and the game state in general. I think blue and orange is a very, very good deck. I also like that it plays. I don't know. It plays. It's my version is extremely fast, but it plays as if you can still block for a long time and you have a lot of tricks. So just because I'm doing the accumulator with tokens, and then I go straight into a choke seed, and I draw, anywhere from 8 to 14, however low I can get my hand down beforehand, uh, is very good. And but it doesn't go down to like 0 cards, and then I'm just stuck there. So I really like the blast off, um, where you don't consistently draw a ton after that. I like getting everything I need. But anyway, I'll do the blue orange video maybe Sunday or next week, so I'm not just putting too many videos out there at once. So let's see. This is Egyptian Speed Rush. There's only okay. I was about to say 8 heroes looks low for me. Uh, a wilderness package. That's pretty standard. I did bring in the Plague of Hail. I've done a wilderness video before, so I won't go into depth about the offense. A lot of great setup pieces. Egypt, Pharaoh's Daughter, Delivered, Covenant with David, Moses, Covenant with Moses, Book of the Covenant, Offering of Wrongdoing, Wilderness of Sinai. You can play Offering Your Son as well. It was in here, but that made it 53. I'm already trying to get the deck down. So you can play Offering Your Son because you go so quickly to Moses that it's first turn Moses. I've yet to not get first turn Moses in every single game, so which means I'll probably not get him here. But there's just so many pieces to get Moses first and like another hero. You always have a strong attack out the gate. Egyptian Speed Rush. So I have my Egyptian Warriors for Egyptian Army. I have a couple generic Egyptians to where if I bring Egyptian army off of like a lurking or murderous command, then he can still band and get a big discard. I brought in Balaam for the early. If I can pop out some Egyptians, then I can get an early Gods of Egypt. I also have the Murderous Command that I can get early, which is really nice. And just an early Christian Martyr. And I also get out 3 Woes to stop any sort of deck protection for my Wilderness offense to kind of pop off. I am trying to hit you for 5 cards from your deck, 5 cards from your deck, and then another 3 to 4 on an add to battle, plus a discard your hero. So very, very good. It's not a constant debate going, but there's the same debates happen a couple times. Honestly, it's happened throughout all of Redemption history, where its mill is bad because the resources you use don't equal the resources you attrition or attrite. I made up that. So I just disagree. I think people only look at it from the sense that they have to discard cards from your deck, and that's it. Completely disagree. You can still get a really good block and discard cards from your deck and get the block. For example, like if I have Famished, then I get an Interrupt the Battle, discard 3, and play. That's really good. I can go into another another battle winner I can go into. I probably want to go into a famine in Egypt, but like a DOU, I probably need to bump up begging to go back to where I can activate an OT curse. I just don't really have one in here. I just like doing a negate and a discard. But yeah, having the interrupt going into scattered is really good. So we'll see. I like having just the discard and then band and have protection. That's solid. The Pharaoh's Baker to where, sorry, I can go into a Pharaoh's Baker with either Lurking, Murderous Command, and then I can take a capture, add to battle. I also like the Cupbearer where you can just discard and add to battle. Like you can discard top card of deck and resurrect, So there's a lot of little stuff you can do. You can bring in discard characters with banding to where you're bringing in discard characters that also you get protection from the next and protection. There's just a lot you can do where people only look at mill from a discard top card value instead of I can win the battle and attrition. So I'm going to put it all together. Egyptian Speed Rush. I really like from a thematic standpoint that this deck is Aaron, Moses, and Pharaohs. Even though it's only Pharaoh Ramsey second, the rest are Genesis people. I also like that there's Balaam with Wilderness people. So it's just a really cool deck from the sense of thematic. Like you have delivered an Isaiah card that talks about the Exodus essentially. We don't have the Exodus in here, ironically enough. That can come in, but maybe it's a main deck card. Especially with Moses, 410 just grabs the Exodus. So I think that was just an oversight on my end. But that is okay. A little heavy defense on reserve, because I do think Egyptians are still a little weak. I do. I don't disagree there. From a design standpoint, we did have them come out in Rebellion. They're brand new to a brigade. And you're just not going to have all the same tools. And we don't want to be able to just discard 25 cards from the opponent's deck in like 2 turns. Like that's a little too much. So we're just trying to find a good balance. Honestly, my idea was let's get a potentially solid mill aspect or the foundations of Egyptians and mill. Let's get them out there. And we could always add pale green cards that also work, like the Assyrian enhancements and stuff. Like those are really good, but they're heavily themed into Assyria or into Assyrians. So there's some stuff there where I don't think Egyptians are far off at all, but I think they're very fun. But when you pair them with a deck that can quickly go discard 5, and potentially discard 5 very quickly, it gets scary. So I don't want to make... I'd rather Egyptians just be a fun defense instead of, hey, this is too crazy, there's nothing we can do. Because Plague of Hail is territory class that negates a card. It's really difficult to have protection. You need layered protection, and I can get this first turn. And then Gods of Egypt, regardless of protect. And all of a sudden, I start designing a few other things, and the opponents, all their cards are discarded, and they never get to play them. I don't want that to be a top competitive deck. So we'll see how this runs, and we will go from there. With the Wilderness, we do with the attrition in general. When I can discard all these cards from the top of your deck, we do like the add to battle. With the Indentured Servant, you will remain an angel of God. So we do like the add to battle there because we're just going to force you to not have cards to block with. And our add to battle will just simply walk over you. We do have to make sure that we have enough interrupts here because like negate, interrupt, because we have to get around protected characters. So there's always stuff we can do to add, but Angel of God works too. So we will get to it. I'm heavy Dom, evil Doms. I do want Angel of Lord in here, but that's what happens. You have Murderous Command and Gods of Egypt. So if we get the blocks, I would love to have Sheol in here too. But if we get the blocks with the Christian Martyr and the Murderous Command, and we have Sheol really does need to be in here. If we had 2 add to battles, I know Egyptians have an add to battle territory class card too. But if we have the add to battles on Egyptians, and we're just constantly getting discard top cards of opponent's deck and adding to battle, that's really, really good. So keep that in mind. What is your deck trying to do, and how do you do it better? And I'll be honest, add to battle always helps. And here we go, and we're off. There's one right there. Okay, so turn 1. Oh, I was going to say, hey, I didn't get Moses. All sorts of consistency pieces. It's pretty crazy. It depends on who goes first. Do we put down Balaam or not? If we get to go first, depending on what is out there from Lost Soul perspective, then yeah, we put Balaam down to get the potential draw 2 off their territory class enhancement. Either way, Mount Sinai is down. Wilderness of Sinai is down, and we can go ahead and play an Exodus hero. We're always going to go to Pharaoh's daughter. And then we'll play Pharaoh's daughter as evil to get Moses, because Pharaoh's daughter is our Plague of Hail target usually, just because she's gold. And we have 2 Exodus heroes. Now, Book of the Covenant isn't going to do anything for us turn 1 without Aaron. Oh, this is my counter for mill. It's how many cards. You know what? We're going to put it over here. It's how many cards we milled. So I have 2. Sorry, I'm just moving around cards. So I have 2 territory class. From an artifact approach, it's good to know your deck. It's always good to know your deck. But I need to know what I would be getting with delivered, and that is my offering of wrongdoing. So it doesn't matter how we play this, good or evil. It just depends. If there's anything counters that hits evil in territory, we play it as good, and vice versa. So we go into offering of wrongdoing, which gets a clay priest or a wilderness human from deck. Now, if I get Aaron, then I have the Aaron, Moses, her, but her needs Exodus heroes, and I want 3 Exodus heroes for my covenant with Moses. So I can immediately go to Zipporah. I could go to Medad, actually, would be the better play. So now what I do, I can't play Covenant with Moses. I already played 1 territory class. Oh yeah, it was supposed to be, because it's Medad to give you protection. And then, so now I have the protection from discard. And now I have Zipporah. Zipporah is the Exodus hero. Opponent must discard the top card of deck. They can't do an evil card from reserve turn 1. So there's our counter. Maybe into Moses. Moses can take. Pretty much we always go to increasing numbers. We are weary of the scattered and the scattered sheeps. And then her looks at the top 3 and discards an evil card and puts a Lost Soul in play. That's really good because I get to look at the top 3 and pick. It's kind of how I think Mills should be. Reveal it, discard it, or like Captain Potiphar, just discard a good enhancement from a deck, I believe is the card. I try to give credit to Joe Schaefer as much as I can. He was like, yeah, I just think mill needs to be specific, like target mill. I think that's really cool. It just was so much design. We were so late into the stage that it was like, maybe we can look to bring that in later on with Pale Green. Who knows? So, Zipporah, Moses to her. And I already I have a strong attack. I generated resources, and I already discarded 3 cards from your deck. One of them being, 2 being top random cards, and 1 being top 3. It's really good. Depending on what you play, I am protected from discard. Depending on what you play, unless you do scattered type card or unsuccessful. There are a couple other things you can do, but pretty much anything like abandonment, stuff like that. Other than that, I have the increasing numbers. Now, I don't love this turn 1 attack. I really don't. The fact that it just sits there and gives up initiative is big. Oh, I don't know if I'm getting him. I'm getting him. And probably go back to Medad, just get that constant protection going. So I almost wonder, do I need to bring in other control-like pieces? Like Egypt can get Babel. Like, do I bring in Babel? Do I bring in Golden Calf? Golden Calf would be pretty cool in this deck. So I don't consider that first attack like a successful rescue. I would have no idea. Chances are it can be blocked. This offense does very good against Herods, but blue does not, as Jay and I were talking. Blue doesn't have a lot against Herod's guard and Herod Agrippa with Herod's temple. Like, you have to be able to get rid of certain things because you have protection and you make everything a toss battle. That's pretty tough. So keep in mind when you're playing blue, you got to get around Herods, but white does good against Herods. It's really cool right now how the meta's forming with all these different offenses. Blue is really good. Blue and orange is really good. Wilderness is really good based on just manipulation and longevity and attrition. It's just with Sabbath Breakers and Brown. Sabbath Breakers and Brown in defense as a defense is really good. And then you have the deck I posted with the like Empty Tomb and the Wilderness defense. Like, that's really, really good. So you have all sorts of stuff, which is really cool right now. That you can mix and match OT and NT and just have some really strong decks. And it's cool because you have a thematic offense and a thematic defense, which I love when people are like, I can pick my favorite theme currently out, but we're trying to expand the themes to where you can pick whatever theme you want, and it's somewhat competitive in some stance, like with Roots coming out and everything. That'd be really cool to players actually say, hey, I want to play this. Like, I like this story in the Bible, and they play it. So, all right, I'm rambling on. End of my turn, I put down Balaam. Really nothing else I would care to do. I just need to make sure that my next time I put down my Exodus heroes for her. They would have to have Soul Gen. If they do, I would just block with a Balaam and go into a Dominant. Hopefully it's just a single hero. But it's okay if I have to give up a Lost Soul turn 1. Just do it quickly. Don't think. If you know you can't block, just give up the Lost Soul and move on with your day. So now we have an upkeep. Mount Sinai. I'm going to do top 5 of theirs. And what do you know? We have another. Oh, I had to discard this to search. Sorry. We have another trigger for Mount Sinai. I'm going to go ahead and put down my heroes. Her's going to hit for a lot. And there's no limit on her, so I can reveal the top bunch. And now I can have my top 3. And hats off to Jaden. That was really cool. The picture he posted of how to get to 5, that was awesome. Yeah, I'm mad. I just looked right over Goshen. I even was like, okay, maybe the protect your reserve from opponents. Like, the part that people do forget is what I remembered. And I completely left off the part of why really the card is in the deck in the first place. So hats off to him, and no hats off to me for that. That was an awesome challenge. Might as well, right? Grab You Will Remain. There's always something you can get with this deck. There's always some sort of resources. Witness Protection Program. So now we have Medad. Medad can always start our battle. I really miss New Covenant in this. I really like Zipporah, Moses to her with New Covenant. That lets me band. Maybe I just take out an evil card. Probably Patriarch Imprisoned, and bring in New Covenant. Because Zipporah to Moses to her with Chosen Warriors is just really good. But either way, we go Medad. It's going to exchange from deck. I forgot. I don't think we have another bander. So yeah, we didn't need that one. So we'll just go Zipporah. Get our counter up one. Moses. This is turn 2. To her. And then it is Exodus Heroes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I should have never gotten Medad. Should have had another Exodus Hero for top 6, but we still have top 5. And we increase our Sinai. Depending on what we play, we have a You Will Remain and a Plague of Hail. So even if they do get rid of us, they can't do an Unsuccessful and they can't do Scattered. So I really like the Book of the Covenant You Will Remain because the opponent has to hit me with one of those CBN cards up front. The only thing that sucks is I used my territory class. So I don't get the Plague of Hail outside of battle. I have to play it in battle. So the opponent would have to play something that I can negate. Assuming they did, we bump up our counter to 5. And have the negate with the 3 heroes in battle. With You Will Remain. We try to play this quick with Wilderness because you get the add to battles. You really do want to kind of do your turn and move on. Now we have Gods of Egypt in our hand. We have 1, 2, 3 Egyptian. Oh, I just discarded. So we only have the 2 Egyptians. So there's not really like any. We really don't want to play Gods of Egypt with only 2. Our Lost Souls. Yeah, we have Darkness. I wonder if we go to Lawless as well. Lawless, Imitate, take out Hunter and Covet. Go Lawless, Imitate. And really try to just pump out some Egyptians. I think that's a better approach. This really isn't an Egyptian speed rush if it's slow on getting characters. So from here, we still have our Balaam outs to where if they play an enhancement, we get the draw 2. Assuming they have some sort of soul gen, I'd probably just go into a Balaam. And I have the Woes and the Murder's Command. And it's still nice to be able to get the discard. And yeah, we won't have the add to battle off Murder's Command in the Egyptian army for anything. But we could have the Baker. Baker comes in, grabs a capture, and you get all that. Like, it's really good. Or we just go to Woes, depending on if they have deck protection. So there's a lot we can do. This is all assuming there's multiple heroes in battle and they did soul gen. If they have multiple heroes in battle, then I DOU. If they don't, I just go into a Christian Martyr. I would shuffle whatever they genned. Draw 3. That's tough. I mean, I love Confusion, but I do want to have my Egyptians. And then I have my upkeep. I can draw 1. And if I draw 1, I know I get the Egyptian Lost Soul. So I can exchange a card from hand with an evil Egyptian from deck. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I do want to exchange to have the 5 and just drop the Gods of Egypt. So yeah, don't forget about roots too. It's hard to with pale green with Egyptians going to pale green. It's like here's a starter deck, here's a set, and there's also roots. Who knows what's in there? Um, with 224 cards, I don't even know. So we did our draw one. We have our Lost Soul. I did skip the Mount Sinai because I knew I was going to get this Lost Soul, and I completely forgot about my upkeep here. But guess what? It's my channel, so we're going to cheat a little bit. Um, what I just did is a perfect example. I've talked about it before. Of even though I think about my next moves, when a card comes out that disrupts what I'm thinking, or oh, I have to do this right now, or I miss it, um, that messes you up. So I put down my Lost Soul, did my Lost Soul ability. Oh, I'm just overthinking, guys. I'm dumb. No, my Mount Sinai is still good. I need to drink my other cup of coffee, I guess. All right. Upkeep's done. We did our Lost Soul. For some reason, I thought I went past upkeep phase. Disregard me. All right. We're just going to go ahead and drop all of our... Hey, that was still a good memo, right? Key takeaway. We're going to drop 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And no bada bing, bada boom. Such a cool art. I like the simplicity of the background on the art. It almost feels like that old school Egyptian. I was at the museum the other day, and whenever I got back from New York, I had to go to the Met before I left. So I went to the Metropolitan and saw the Egyptian exhibit. And I mean, literally, that's like background that they used on their stuff. It was awesome. So anyway, sorry, a little small flex. I didn't mean that. But yeah, really cool card. It's funny because this was originally in the starter deck when we had the starter decks outlined with Moses and Pharaoh and David and Goliath. We had Israel's deliverance. We had Gods of Egypt in there before they were balanced. And John Early was like, yeah, they're never going to be balanced. And he revolutionized the starter decks. So thank you, John. And we took Gods of Egypt out. And what do you know? Came right into Israel's rebellion. But yeah, this was in a starter deck. Pretty crazy. So guess what? Our counter goes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at 17 cards from their deck. And it's the beginning of our turn 3. Is that correct? And I still have my big boom boom add to battle. So, and now I have my 5 evil characters for Egyptian army. He's actually going he'll be 5 because he's a weapon class, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not weapon class. So I got everything I need. If we're discarding 17, we know there's plenty of Lost Souls out there that we could rescue. Nothing for Book of the Covenant for us to get, and that's where we need Aaron to be out and New Covenant to be in, so we can just constantly have the big band, or big add to battle. Don't have anything in my hand, but I don't need to. Zipporah, so we're gonna have to counter Moses, grabs inhabitants, and then we have her, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have our interrupt bounce all. I really like that Zipporah can ban to Moses, and Moses has Exodus CBN enhancements. The other one, Moses Friend of God. You can bring in Moses Friend of God and not Moses the Servant, and still play completely white wilderness. And you can go Zipporah to Moses to her, and now you have an interrupt, bounce all, take a white card from reserve, CBN. So that's really good. You can have Turbo, well, I just call him Turbo Mo, but you could have Cloud Moses with Pharaoh's daughter. And you could have Zipporah CBI to Cloud Moses to her. And it's a much stronger attack in the sense of like a Goshen won't hurt you because you have your 3 colors for your plagues, and you're doing a by the number ban with 3 characters, and you're getting to discard, Zipporah and her, you have the benefits plus Soul Gen. So I'm just showing the stuff with Moses as servant. There's tons of Moseses, but 3 really good ones that you can use being Cloud, Friend of God, and Moses as servant. So um, keep that in mind. If you are like, this deck doesn't play a ton of territory class enhancements. Like Plague of Hail would work through Pharaoh's Daughter until we discard Pharaoh's Daughter, and that's fine. We don't care, you know. Uh, Covenant with Moses is CBP. That's weird. Why is that? You know. So this works. So all we lose is Delivered, which is still a good card, and it's still a star ability. So we could take that out. I almost think that deck is way better. We take out Delivered, come down to 51, and this Moses turns into Cloud Moses. And then I'm looking at any other territory class enhancements like Love Righteousness, Virgin Birth stays no matter what, but like Love Righteousness can come out. And then we can just go to 50 cards, and we're at Turbo Moses. Yeah, that's a very, very good build, and it makes the ban that much better. All right. Anytime you're getting CBN enhancements is good, and then Cloud Moses, just anytime you're getting negate all enhancements, it's good. So after that, we essentially want to. I just looked at my deck so I can give it a quick shuffle because I know the top card isn't was a good fortress, so I'd automatically go Magicians. We don't do that much cheating on my channel. So reveal bottom. Hey, what do you know? It's where you live. Reveal bottom. Blah blah blah. Band. I really like the idea where I can just draw 1 and discard a good enhancement from a deck. This was, I think, Joe Schaefer edited Captain Potiphar. So we can just say Captain Potiphar, and I'll get the draw 1. He gets the discard, and then I'm going to ask for Anish, Dominish, and I'm going to want to add my Egyptian army to battle. And then, I would actually do the Pharaoh's Baker. The whole point of that being in there. You may take an evil card with a capture ability from reserve. So I take the capture from reserve, which I could either take the negate or the capture and draw 3. I'll take the negate, and then I can discard this card to add an Egyptian from territory or reserve to battle. So I can discard this card, and now I add my Egyptian army, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, top 5 are discarded, and I get the hero kill 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can ban to a generic Egyptian warrior, and I get protection from the next played, and I get to discard the top card of a deck. So that's turn 3 where I'm blocking, and 26 cards are gone from their deck. If I needed to, Balaam would have gone to 3 woes, and I would have negated their deck protection. So I'm not really too worried. I have protection from the next. I've taken out 26 of their cards. I'm not really worried what they have left, and I can still Christian Martyr them. So I believe that was 3 turns, 26 cards. I have a tough time thinking that doesn't win a game where I can get rid of half your deck. So, and we'll just do it. We'll do it again. We'll just go through 2 turns. We'll just see Egyptian Speed Rush. We'll go through. You know what? Oh gosh. You know what we're gonna do? What are we gonna do? I'm glad you asked. Gotta get the promo. I almost feel like we can do one more plague. And now I'm like, man, I want to bring in the destroyer. Oh, I brought in Cloud Moses. I would need a cloud icon. Let's see. Yeah, let's just do type GE with a class of cloud. Um, yeah, Faith of Moses parents and Faith of Moses both really good right now. I like the white clay to where um, my people can use them. Like being able to negate and discard an artifact or an evil enhancement with curses running amok is really good, but Moses turning off those curses is good. We'll just go with that for now. All right, so 51. All right, let's try out this version. Go figure, right? Go figure. I didn't get the weight of Moses when I changed it. All right, this deck is, we got to scrap it. So we don't really have anything for turn one. So for this, we let the opponent go first, you know? Um, let's see. Opponent's roll is 6. Oh no. Our roll is no. So that in that sense, they would say we get to go first. But I call the judge over. The judge is me, and I overrule the result. So let's say there's really nothing here, and we go into our draw 3. Still no way to Moses. I change the deck, and I just lose it because I lost the additional consistency piece, you know? So yeah, all we can do here is we can go straight to a discard top 2, or we can draw top 2. We don't have another Exodus hero, so we just have the 2 Exodus heroes. So we'll draw 2. Hey, this technically counts as turn 1, right, everyone? So now we have Wilderness of Sinai, and we have Egypt, and we know that Egypt can go to daughter. Daughter can go to Moses. I like to just go straight to Moses. Wilderness of Sinai comes down. You may take an Exodus hero. We already have her, so now we just want to go to Zipporah. Balaam doesn't do anything as a territory class character anymore, but that is okay. We don't have a good way to get a Plague of Hail now. We do want to rush to Plague of Hail. We want to turn 1 Plague of Hail, so maybe this isn't the right build, but either way, yeah, I like being able to just rush to that Plague of Hail. That is very good. We go Zipporah. Oh yeah, and I don't have the band anymore. I don't like this version. That's all we have. And I don't get this. So yeah, the other version's better, everyone. Just like that. So I would take that out and go back to... Now that doesn't mean Moses, friend of God, is out of the equation. But does mean I'm not using this. What did I add? What did I add, everyone? Why am I at 53 now? Oh, what are you doing? Sorry, Mo. So yeah, that's what I would run as of now. It's just too good getting out that Plague of Hail. We're only at 40 minutes. All right, so we got everything here. And once again, we have Moses, turn 1. How? Aaron, book. Coming in with David. Play a site or good fortress. we just want to thin our deck a little bit. So even though we can go straight to Wilderness of Sinai, remember we always want to get out Pharaoh's Daughter, Wilderness of Sinai, and Moses. And how we do that is grabbing Egypt to take an evil Egyptian, play Pharaoh's Daughter, oh, not Wilderness of Sinai, sorry, and then play Moses. And let's see. Now we don't need to go Aaron to Moses. We already have the additional add to battle here. So we can go Zipporah, Moses, Chosen Warriors to have the additional add to battle. If they play anything, we have the increasing numbers for the negate all. We always go to her. We could go to Medad and another Exodus hero. And then we would go Zipporah to Moses to Medad to her from deck. We could easily do that, and that is okay. Just to have that extra protection. Their turn, I'm doing a great job of soul droughting. We'd rush through, like they would have to soul gen something, and we would still have, we don't really have a great block there, to be honest. All right, now we don't have anything for upkeep, so do we want to play a hero or get the draw? We got to make sure we have our 3 Exodus, you know me, get the draw. We want our Exodus heroes down for her. And then from here, I still get the Miriam protection. Protect deck and your Exodus heroes from discard abilities, so that's nice. Don't forget Book of the Covenant. Then we'll have Miriam, and then we can exchange a card from hand with music to Zipporah, to Moses, to her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we don't have our big boom boom cards yet that discard the top 5, but either way, really good rescue. Having Angel of God and Royal Parade is really good. We like getting Storehouse early, so we can get that Faith Unbowed for Angel of God. That's sneaky good. You could also get Death of Firstborn. You could bring Death of Firstborn in here. 8 cards, good to go. We do have a lot of Egyptians, that's good. We don't have our... Oh, I never did anything with Moses, Plague of Hail. I never grabbed that from deck. It's very difficult to talk and do all this. I always say that excuse, right? So yeah, at this point, they would have to generate a Lost Soul. I really like having Pharaoh, protection from loan, look at a hand, and then having the interrupt protection, or just the negate and the discard top 2. Like, that's really good. It's also good going out with the Pharaoh and then getting the interrupt, discard top 3, play DLU or play Confusion, and then having an add to battle. That's nice. So, 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom. And if drawn, you may reserve a card from hand to take a Wilderness Human. I don't want to do that. I don't need a Wilderness Human that bad. I do have my upkeep on book. I get my draw 1. And no other upkeeps. Put that in Egypt. Put down Storehouse. And now we do have our Plague of Hail. Double that. And this was turn 3, so not as much this time. Plague of Hail discards. We do have 4. We don't have a way to draw anything else. So I could play Gods of Egypt for another 4 to get the 14. And that's okay. Like, that's really good. So now we're at 14. You don't have to max out that 5. You just want to. Y'all, it's Friday. Client's off. We have Miriam for the protection. We don't need to exchange anything for a card from good card that involves music from reserve. We just don't have any more. Zipporah gets the other. Moses goes to deck. And you go to her, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still have, if we needed to, the add to battle, negate up to X, which is so good. But all we have is a 7-12 in battle. So unless you use this as a negate, that gets rid of the characters in battle. Like if they play a discard all or a capture all, and you want to keep your inhabitants driven out, then you could just play Angel of God for the negate. I really like not using Angel of God till I have Storehouse. Having a negate with an enhancement played to back them up is really good. Interrupt. Bounce all, which is really cool in this deck because I want to put down all my Egyptians for Gods of Egypt, so that's an added benefit. And then I can take an OT white card from reserve. After that, just put down a couple that I don't care about as much. So yeah, we are good there. The last thing, I mean, we try to probably get a chump block with like an Egyptian Magicians and a DOU. It's sites too, right? Yeah, I thought so. We're just trying to get that one last Murderous Command, but oh well. Bunch of good support stuff. We have our upkeep, our draw. Boom, boom. I'm not going to use that. Go into our reserve for an OT. We have Egypt. Mount Sinai, we got late. Boo. We have Wilderness of Sinai. Exodus Hero. We have our additional Exodus Hero. Yeah, we don't really need to do anything else. So yeah, we're good. We have enough attacks. We have enough add to battles. We got rid of 13 cards by turn 3 with a very lackluster turn 1. So not bad at all. I mean, when you can just go to Plague of Hail turn 1 or turn 2. And maybe turn 1's the move. Maybe you go Moses turn 1, Plague of Hail, have a negate, top 5. I do think that's potentially game changing. I mean, it is game changing because you get the negate, you potentially you should win the Lost Soul, and getting rid of the top 5. The way decks are constructed right now, if you just don't have 5 of your cards, you just discard any of them, any 5 from your deck, it would be very difficult. People are having a tough time getting down to 50. Now imagine saying go to 45. Worst case, it's Lost Souls, and you just generated a bunch of Lost Souls. So I really don't think it'd be hard pressed for me to use a discard top 5 and not get something amazing from that. So, and then I follow it up with another 5. So we'll see. That's my one meeting for the day. Look at that. And then I'm done. So hope you enjoyed. And maybe this could be faster, but Egyptian Speed Rush. So we got rid of, 27 cards by turn 3 and 16 by turn 2. And for this, we would have like on our next turn, or on our block. Oh, I didn't go through, I guess. On our block, we would be able to go into a Lurking, into a Baker, grab a capture, and discard to go to army. And then we have the additional 4 plus the Captain Potiphar. So that is not bad at all. So we would have had another big 4 and Captain Potiphar. So we would have had another 5 on a block. That's a lot. It feels like you're constantly getting rid of 5 cards a turn. So I do like it. I need to play some games with it. This has been all theory, so we'll see. But I hope you all enjoy. I did forget to take a picture. Darn. But I'll try to do blue-orange next week. Thanks for watching.